It is another Seiko versus Citizen showdown here in the Watch Show, TMP. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. Thanks for being part of TMP Patreon. The reason I keep chugging out the videos. If you don't think so, join Patreon and see what is posted over there. Yeah, about every 3 to 4 days, a new video. Watches, guns, knives, adventures, old school TMP. Now, we have a Seiko versus Citizen showdown again. Another buy request video. It's been brewing for a while. Sorry it's taken me a while to get to these models. But I've had TMPers tell me over the years, hey, please review the Seiko SNE329, this one right here, or the Citizen BM8475. This is a 26 Eco, the orange and black version, brown leather strap. And here we go. Tabletop WRV time. TMP! I've had these watchers for well over 2 years. We bought them in Amazon with ad money, which has evaporated. Now I use Patreon money. So you're listening to a completely independent watch reviewer. I don't do third-party advertising. I don't contact watch manufacturers and get freebies for reviews. I spend a lot of money on watches and all the other gear, and then I either give it away to you guys, the TMPers, supporting my show, or I try to sell it on secondary market. That's been going on for a very long time. It's worked so far. What you get out of it is a very impartial, honest review. Here we go. Okay, this review is going to focus on guys who perhaps have smaller wrists. I'm a 7.5-inch wrist. I prefer a larger watch aesthetic. I've said that in a lot of WRVs, and now that I have so much watch experience at this time in TMP, I've really settled on, I would say, probably around 45 millimeters or bigger in a watch case diameter. That's just for me. I will go smaller than that, and I'm doing that today with my EDC watch. Check this out. Now, we're talking field watches, SNE329, BM8475. We're going to get to the details. I'm also wearing kind of a Flieger Cross but field watch right now, and you haven't seen it yet. It's a more expensive kind of Swiss watch. Nothing fancy. I didn't think you liked Swiss watches. I don't like their prices, but the Alpina Start Timer Pilot hovers right about at my maximum price point, and this was $275. Great deal, by the way. I mean, if you find this Alpina Start Timer for $275 and you like it, I mean, if it works for you, it's aesthetic. Yes, it's a chrono, Flieger kind of design. Don't hesitate, just buy it. That's a really good price on this. Still a quartz watch, but Swiss quartz, 44 millimeter. That's my point in showing you this. Field watch, I kind of think of it as a field watch and Flieger watch. There you go, Alpina Start Timer Pilot. I have warmed up to chronos a lot more than I had in the past. I didn't really like them before, but now certain varieties like this one I like, and I'm rocking them, and they're making me happy. Good legibility on that one. I don't want to make this review on the Alpina Start Timer, but it's a good representation of the size point that I'm making. So this is around the smallest usually I'll go. This is a 44 millimeter diameter watch. Looks great, right, on my 7.5-inch wrist. Okay, and I put a black NATO on it, just simple black NATO. I ran these ones for a long time. I really liked them. They are awesome. But I found myself, as I morphed into the larger watches, personally, and this is just me, I just wasn't wearing them anymore. I had worn them plenty to know what they're like, what their legibility is, if I like them, if I don't like them, and plenty to talk about here on this tabletop. But they started staying in the watch case. And after this review, where do they go? I'm just giving them to TMPers. Ones that where maybe your wrist is like 6.5 inch, in diameter. So I'm just going to sign them, and they're going to get shipped on out the door. I do giveaways every month to Patreon members, and it's a ton of work, a fair amount of money to do it, and I enjoy it. They support the project, I support them. Thank you very much. Link below, TMP Patreon. Who knows how long it lasts. So far, so good. And while that's going, I crank. Okay, so it is a Seiko versus Citizen showdown, and I've done these before. I did a field watch one a couple years ago, and that was fun. Seems like guys liked it. I don't know how many of y'all are going to really get into the aesthetic of these two watches. I myself like them. I like a very clean field watch aesthetic. Each one is a little bit different. So the SNE329 on the left, this is the blue version, of course. As you can see, well, let's just look at the aesthetics. And this is really where I'm going to concentrate as a watch programmer, my reviews from here on out. And as a watch programmer, I don't know if I've used that term before. Here's what I mean. I actually change watches. I change their hands. I will tape their hands. I will paint their hands. I will change the complete aesthetic of a watch. Before this video is over, I'm going to show you some competitive options of watches I've done just that. I call it programming. And it's really changed the way I look at watches, actually completely. It's a whole different way of looking at watches, because I can look at a watch whose hands are jacked up, which I kind of think the 8475s are a little bit. We'll look at that here in a second. And I can change them. Maybe not change the hands. I could, but what I'll probably do is tape them, make them pop, make them look good, make them look solid, really change the complete look of the watch. Okay, so I look at aesthetics now. That is actually your most important reason for buying a watch too, if you're honest. It's not functionality, it's how it looks, how it makes you feel. That emotional connection to a knife. There's LCK again, great high value knife, link below. Or a watch, how it makes you look. And if you're honest, it's that way with most things that I review. We're emotional creatures. We attach to something, usually on aesthetics. And the watch is no different. Both of these, I'm really going to have a hard time when we focus in on the aesthetics of the SNE329. Again, the khaki version is very cool. Or the 8475. Which one, for me, does it more aesthetically? It's really a hard press. Let me go over the sizes real quick. These are a little bit smaller in my way of thinking, and a lot of people's way of thinking, they're not small at all. But for me, they are. Anything under 44 millimeters, to me, I'm talking case diameter, very small. They do both have larger effective faces, and that is because they have relatively thin bezels. That's a good thing. Usually we'll see that in a field watch. But the SNE329, 43, that's 43 millimeters across, 11 millimeters in thickness, 49 lug to lug. And I believe these are 22 millimeter straps on both of these creatures. 42 millimeters across on the 8475, same thickness, 11, and same lug to lug, 49. This is just 1 millimeter bigger than this one. It seems like it's a little bit bigger when I wear it. Can you determine why by looking at them? I have talked about this. It's because the one on the left is not blackened. You're correct. That's exactly correct. Someone's been watching the WRVs. That's exactly right. Anytime you have a satin finish case, in this case a polished case, in other words, not PVD, Teflon coated, or just black coated, it's going to look bigger. So this one presents on the wrist a little bit bigger than this. And so if I get just to the size quotient, I would probably prefer the 329. And there's another reason too, can you tell? Without programming them. In other words, modding them out. Those words are interchangeable, by the way. And the times are not set because one of the batteries died, and that's why the times are completely different. I've just recharged it. They're both Eco-Drive, I should say solar powered. When I'm driving it, and one I like better is probably the 329 again unmodded state because of the hands. So we have sword hands on the SNE329. Just clean, they're solid, there's no partial hand syndrome going on here. The second's hand is very visible, clean. Might as well look at all the other markings. We have kind of the military Arabic numerals, and of course, you know, the 12, 6, and 9 positions. Big stick markers, just really clean field presentation. We'll look at the lume if I remember before the video ends. Versus 8475. Really a good looking watch, it is. Notice the numerals here are very Bell & Rossi. And I will say right now in this review, I haven't said it before, that is way overplayed. This font right here has got to go. It is in so many watches. It is overplayed, overused, and it's a Bell & Ross font. I don't say I don't like it, but it's just too omnipresent. It's in so many different watches. I'm going to show you competitive option. They did the same thing. They just did the Bell & Ross font. there you go. But the hands on the 8475, and let me pull this out and change them around a little bit, they're okay. And earlier in my watch career, I would say, oh, the hands are cool. You know, I can still see them. There's decent legibility. Orange tipped against a black background in this version. But they have the hollow hand syndrome, which personally, and that's all it is, it's my aesthetic, I don't like it. I don't like hollow hands on a watch. I will change that through programming so fast, it'll make your head spin. And to this point, I've done about 100, that's right, 100 watches programmed. I know watches pretty good at this point, inside and out. Quartz, autos, all types and descriptions. I've completely taken them down. And if I were to keep the 8475, I would definitely mod it. And it'd be a simple mod. It wouldn't be anything radical. All I do is tape the hands in white. Again, I'm going to show you competitive option. I'm looking on the table. Yeah, I do have one that I did it with. You'll be able to see it. And it would transform the looks of the 8475. But I can't really go there officially in this review because I have to concentrate on the stock appearance. Because if you're not a programmer, then you're like, well, I'm not going to do that. And you just buy it out of box. Is it going to work for me? So in aesthetics, if I want to kind of set these close, in aesthetics, I would say by a little bit the Seiko. The Seiko. Now this is the blue version I have for you right here. That khaki version is really cool. And I think most of you guys would really like that. So it has a khaki Cordura strap. This is the beautiful blue, actually. It's a great looking color. You might like that better. We didn't really consider the markings of the 8475. Here we go now. You've got military time, the outer dial, a very field watchy thing. Seconds hand is mostly blackened. And I would paint that. Here I go again, talking like I'm going to mod this watch. Sorry, I keep going there. I got to not do that. It's going to really be hard for me because every time I see a watch, I told you it changes how I think. It's so funny that other watch reviewers will, and I quit watching them. I can't watch any more watch reviews. It got so ridiculous. I just dialed out. That once you become a programmer, you can change all these things. And so something so minor as the color of a seconds hand, I can change it in 20 minutes. And it will look like it came from the factory that way. I'm going to show you some stuff. Anyways, sorry for that rant. And then we've got clean markings. The one thing about the markings on the 8475 I kind of like, as opposed to this, is they're thinner. Notice how thick and trapped the markings look on here. I do prefer the outer scale markings of the BM8475 better. And I like the logo, the Citizen logo is awesome, Eco-Drive. I've talked so much about the solar power. I do prefer it, but like I told you at the outset, I mean, I wasn't taking care of these watches and they will die on you. Supposedly, if you keep them charged up, the battery will last like 10 years. But again, if you get to the point where I'm at where you're taking watches apart, changing all the batteries in them is no big deal. You can order even an Eco-Drive battery and swap it out. Sorry for the diversion. Day date in both of these is on positive display on the 8475, which is a win over the SNE because it's negative display. And I believe this is quick set date. I'm going to have to change the time on this, so I don't like changing the date when it's around midnight. So there we go. So you got Spanish on that one. That's pretty common on a lot of these watches. Get that out of the way right here. I absolutely prefer the positive display, and that's a win for the 8475. I probably should have, put that in the hopper when I said aesthetically. I will say this though: I don't use the day date on my analog watches very often, if ever. It's because I'm wearing a smartwatch paired with it, and it's been that way for years. It's just fun. Now on this Alpina start timer, that has a really big date, not day but date. Look at that. That is very well executed on this watch, and that's how you do a date, like that. Okay, so those are the hands, the markings, the cases are well executed. Let's look at the 8475. The black coating on it has been durable. This has been worn in multiple tactical shoots, testing, other products like guns and stuff in TMP. It's really worn well. Both the Citizen product, the Seiko product, quality-wise, fantastic. I've got no criticisms on it at all, especially for the price point. These are both like $100 watches. This one was $100 when we bought it. This one, dudes, was $85 $85. $85, look at that. I even put a sticker on the back. And the reason I put a sticker is if in case it's on a tabletop review, I can show it. Oh my goodness, that is outstanding. So nice case on this. Let's look at the case back. Screw-in case back, always my preference. Easy to get into. I haven't specifically cracked into these watches because they're not programmed yet, obviously. Nice shiny back and decent. And then it actually beats SNE329, which is not shiny and very basic. There's a no frills finish on that case back. Once upon a year in my watch reviews, I was like, case backs, who cares? At this point, I kind of care. It's kind of fun. It's a second cool thing. Once again, I may show you some others that kind of turn me on. I like it. We talked about the lugs are identical in size and width. They don't have drilled through lugs, but it's really no big deal to pop these straps off. But you can see I have not done that because both of the straps on the SNE329, the Seiko, and the Citizen BM8475 are awesome. They are really good straps. This is a leather-lined Cordura strap. Again, this is the blue version. We have a, not frosted, but kind of a satin finish buckle. One keeper. I wish it was, I'm sorry, two keepers. I was thinking of a different watch. And leather reinforcement on the holes. I saw no need to replace that strap. It handled sweat well, comfortable, stable, and the 8475 is no worse. It is such great leather on this. I think you'd be crazy to take this strap off. It is just a beautiful strap, as we've seen on some other Citizen watches. I like the brown coloration. It goes so well aesthetically with the orange face. And by the way, this is a 26 Eco variety. It does come in a stealth black. It is a Citizen BM8475 00F, as in Foxtrot. That is a really cool watch. I have seen guys wear that and they love it. You can't read the damn time on it because the hands are black, the face is black. I really don't understand that. Actually, I do. It's a second cool thing. But guys love it. And then also the OD green version of this, the 00X. I've seen that before, and I actually took a picture of a guy wearing that, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that came in green. 8475, and it may have a different catalog number, but it's the same watch. Really cool. I think you guys, if you end up getting an 8475, you'll like the orange and black, this one, or you would go with the OD green one. Both excellent. And then the strap, once again, is fantastic. Let me take off the Alpina, and then I'm just going to drape them across the wrist. Give you an idea what it looks like on my 7.5-inch wrist. The wrist presence, to me, not to you in the camera, because to you in the camera, I already know what you're going to say. Looks perfect. Perfect size, nothing fancy. I can't believe you think that's too small. You're actually right. I mean, it's not small. It's not a 42 I can do, and there are some other 42s that I'll wear. But, again, wait till I show you competitive options, and I'll show you. And I may go back to this. You know, we all change in our preferences. So maybe I run like a 46, 47 millimeter watch for years, and then I want to go back to this size. That's okay. It's okay. That's why you should think really hard before getting rid of your watches, because I don't like the size. Not me, because I'm a reviewer. I can't keep them all. Got to make more money and get more. But for you, hang on to them, because you may circle back to them. Here's the SNE329 on my wrist. Cool. A little bit larger. This is what I'm saying. Again, the visual thing going on with the satin finish case, stainless steel case. Both of these are wearing my crystal protectors. I have a video out and showing you how I protect my crystals. This is, I believe, a Hardlex crystal, and this is just a mineral crystal. So you're not going to get sapphire crystal, but I don't give a crap. Again, as a programmer, I don't want to waste money on a sapphire if I don't have to. I can just put a crystal protector on them, and it's just as good, if not better. This one does have a sapphire, but it just kind of came with a package. And I won't put a crystal protector on this. You can see the AR coating on this Alpina. There you go. Okay, so which one overall do you prefer? Say and comment. Citizen BM8475, this is a 26 Eco, or the SNE329. At this point, what would you say? What would you say? If I were to, actually I can't say on camera. If I were to say anything on camera, it's going to slew the voting. Now, again, this video is focused towards TMPers whose wrists are a little bit smaller. And some of the bigger watch options, I'm going to show you right now, you're going to like, yeah, that won't work for me. It won't work. I can do a 2.4 ounce Seiko, 2.4 ounce, by the way, that is the weight, Citizen. those will work for me. And the prices, dudes, they're excellent. I mean, a lot of watch for the money. Okay, competitive options. And this is just a grab bag. I'm not, you know, I don't go and like spend a lot of time on what competitive options. I just grab out what's in inventory, and it proves some of the points I've made in the WRV. And one of them is I myself prefer a larger aesthetic. I'm going to start off with a Chota Valley Aviator. Now this is a sapphire crystal. It was about, I think, $160 in Amazon. This is an Aviator. Kind of a funky dial, really good strap. I wouldn't say the most amazing strap in the world, but for the price, really good strap. And this is a larger watch. I think it's like 47 millimeters. There's a Caseback right there. 5200 is the catalog number on this one. I hope this one sticks around because this is a really cool watch. So this to me makes me a little bit happier now. So that's bigger. So let me drape this one real quick. I'm sorry the video is going to go a little bit longer as we do competitive options. I could have ended it already, but competitive options take time. There you go. I already know what you're going to say. You're going to say, hey man, I like that Citizen on your wrist better, dude. How about we go with an Airboss by Deep Blue. It's rocking an NH35 automatic movement, and this is the first watch I will show you in my WRVs that I've modded. This is wearing a Nothing Fancy mod. Boom! This is what I'm talking about. I put the 751 on it. I did the hands on this one. They are taped in actually luminescent orange, and the camera is doing a horrible job at capturing how bright they are. They look like they're washed out orange in the camera. They're not. They're super bright. Super legible. This has sapphire as well. This is a more expensive watch, and this really is kind of a different category because value quartz, and automatic. Oh look, I even signed the rotor in there. Check that out. See it? Dude, that is cool. Oh, maybe it's called the Air Blue. Yeah, Air Blue. I probably call it something different. So many watches, so many names. Decent strap on this one. It's going to be a lot more. And the current Air Blues that they're making right now, yeah, the colorations aren't really, at least out of box, they're not really striking me. But Deep Blue is a great micro brand. It is a competitive option. If you want an automatic watch, just something to think about. Even though it's, I guess, more of a flight watch, really, hence the Air Blue. This one is super affordable, and it's super awesome. This is taped in just white. This is a Nothing Fancy mod watch. It's called a Mini Focus. Check this out. Boom. Blue. And actually, speaking of Deep Blue, this is a programmed watch. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It came with a metal, actually very decent, cool blue metal mesh strap. I took that off, and I form fitted and really had to press it on, actually, a Deep Blue silicone strap. I taped the hands on this one, and I painted the hand fluorescent orange. That's a programmed watch. Now this watch looks like it's big, right? I mean, again, thin bezel, nice wrist presence. How big would you think that is? 44 to 45, Nothing Fancy. Good guess, good guess. Let's check it out. It is actually, ooh, whoever guessed 43 is right on the money. So there you go. I will go smaller, but look at the thin bezel. Look at the large effective face on this. Mini Focus, link below. Buy this watch before it's discontinued. You don't have to program it for it to be awesome. It's still a very cool watch. Here comes another one. Non-programmed, non-modded. Remember, those words are interchangeable here in TNP. This is a Naviforce field watch. Look at this. So let's hold it up against a BM8475. This is battery powered. This is solar powered. The hands on this one are superior. I'm sorry, they are just better. The Naviforce watches, we've been running them for 3 years here. Man, they're good. They are so good. And after taking apart so many of these watches of all brands, the high-end, the Swiss, the Japanese, the Chinese, there ain't much difference. Once you go to a quartz, even an auto, there's not that much difference. You're just getting a huge markup and paying for it. Again, this isn't solar, this is just battery powered. But this is like a $25 watch, dudes. Naviforce field watch. And look at that aesthetic. It's just super clean, great markings, Cordura strap, leather lined. Holy cow, this is awesome. This is a great watch. And I'm not just saying that. I would totally wear this. What does that say? NF901M, I think is a model number. And they come and go so quick. I mean, 2 years from now, this watch will be gone in Amazon. You won't be able to even find it. So you got to buy it quick. Between these three, which would I wear? I still like these watches. I don't want to say I don't like them. I like them a lot. I like this is a little bit bigger. Let's measure it. There you go. It's 45 millimeters across. So probably that one. I need to do something with those hands though, because I don't like black outlined hands. I just can't deal with them. not if I'm keeping the watch. Here comes an Invicta iForce. This I bought used for 40 bucks and then I programmed it. Boom. So this is a really cool aesthetic. I put on the leather NATO strap. I put on a decal. It's wearing blue hands. Fluorescent orange painted seconds hand. Kind of has that Russian diver crown protector on it. It's just a cool watch. And, you know, is it an absolute field watch? No. But I'm usually throwing these in for size comparisons. And just where I'm at right now, subject to change. There we go. I got to wrap it up, man. We're 26 minutes in and then some. But that's the Invicta iForce. The hands don't come this way. They come shiny, which, again, I detest. Both of these are great watches, though. They are fantastic watches for the money. The Seiko SNE329, the BM8475. Remember, both will come in different colorations. They're both definitely worth your money. And for smaller wrists, and you want that really cool military, very clean aesthetic, they're both completely highly recommended. If I had to just, you know, choose one over the other just by the smallest of margins, I'd probably just barely go with the Seiko. Just barely. Just because of the hands. It's mainly the hands and the size. Nothing fancy.